what you got. Oh, I can't see tomorrow. Gotta live, try to get a little wiggle room, the rest don't stop. Quid pro quo, I need the best y'all got. Tryna make a dollar, flip it like it's vinyl. Tryna make a way. What's it worth to you if the price too high? Quid pro quo, I need the best y'all got. Give me your best. I won't say nothing less, cause I'm giving you 100. How you always leaving me with nothing? I'm not impressed. It's gonna take more than this, cause I'm giving you 100. And I don't even know if I can trust you for nothing.
I pulled a, let's try this again. Good morning. Good morning, Teal. Good morning, Vanessa. Good morning, Jessica. Vanessa, she necked you out, man. She got you just by a hair. Good morning, everybody. Happy Friday, y'all. It is Friday. It is in the world of 75 Hard. It is day 55. Don't see Michelle in here yet, but welcome to day 55 for all of us 75 Harders that are hanging in there. 20 more days. Can y'all believe that? I just really put that together. 20 more days of 75 Hard. I'm so freaking excited to accomplish this thing, y'all. So TGIF, for those of you who thank God it's Friday, for those of you in the real estate business, you shouldn't thank God it's Friday. You should thank God that it's another fantastic day to go get some freaking money. Another day to go do it all. Good morning, Jessica. Missed you yesterday morning. But let's get rolling, man. This is going to be a great day. Sorry I was a little bit late, y'all, but I'm reading Coach Burt, Michael Burt. So, Jessica, you probably haven't heard of Coach Burt yet, but Coach Burt is a coach that Christy and I use. We probably still use, I guess. Christy has known Coach Burt for a while. I've known Coach Burt for a while. We got exposed to him back in 2018. I'm reading a book that he wrote called Flip the Switch, and believe it's it's a really fantastic book. I'm really enjoying it. So Coach Burt does a lot of great things. He does he's got a great program, has a really, really great way of connecting with people. So I'm enjoying this book a lot. I'm enjoying Flip the Switch a lot. So if you want a good book to read, Flip the Switch is a great book. It's all about your prey drive. Activating what's inside of you that's kind of in there dormant, not really doing much, finding a way to activate that. So, which is pretty cool because this morning we're going to talk about courage. And a lot of times it is our fear of the unknown. We talk about this all the time that keeps us stagnant, keeps us stuck, keeps us in the same spot. So let's get rolling. I don't know, we don't have more people here, but we're going to get rolling anyway. My name is Aaron Dwyer. My wife, Christy Dwyer, and I own Exit Realty Lake Country. We have offices in both Tennessee and in Georgia. And every single morning, 5:30 Central, 6:30 Eastern time, we jump on this live call with our agents. That's how it started. We were hoping to stay connected, and it's turned into a morning of motivation, a morning of laughs and fun, and sometimes some tears. But we always have a good time because we believe that and hope that these morning calls get our agents off to a good start, that provides them enough fuel to start their days, because we know if we can have a great morning, that our chances of having a great day go up exponentially. And if we can string enough good mornings and great days together, we can make a good life. So thanks for being here, y'all. Y'all know the deal. If you're here with us this morning and you're on live, please let me know you're here by a little comment, just saying good morning. And if you are watching this later on one of the other platforms, YouTube or something else, then thanks for watching, and hopefully you'll get something out of this that benefits you through your day as well. I am a true believer that God aligns certain people at certain times, that He crosses paths at the exact time, that He allows us to hear exactly what we need to hear at the exact right time to get us going to realizing our potential, fulfilling our destiny, and igniting those sparks that He gave us before we were born. So Let's roll, y'all. Let's get going. I don't know why there are more people here. It's crazy. But please let me know you're here. We have the same ones here, and y'all, I appreciate everybody being here. I really, really do. This is going to be a great topic this morning. Good morning, Michelle. This is a great topic. Courage. We're going through Grant Cardone. Just a reminder, kind of going through Grant Cardone's 32 things successful people do that unsuccessful people don't do. And number 16, halfway through this, through number 32, number 16 is demonstrate courage. Good morning, Casey. Demonstrate courage. Successful people demonstrate courage. I love this particular topic because courage is one of those things that I think we have this certain perception of courage. We have this certain perception of those people who are courageous. We have this certain perception of those people who we label as courageous. But I think we have a common misconception around courage, and I believe that is we believe that courage is something that the state of courage is absence of fear. And I heard this said the other day. Y'all know I listened to a guy named Eddie Perino. I think that's his name. Pierno. I'll spell that. He's got some great motivational stuff. So typically on my 45-minute outdoor workout, I usually listen to one of his YouTube things. So he's got a podcast and he puts videos on YouTube and kind of a motivational thing. And I listen to what he does on my 45-minute outside run walks. And I listened to his words, and he said something, and I heard it first said a couple of weeks ago in one of his talks, where he talks about courage is not the absence of fear. For someone to demonstrate courage, for someone to be courageous, fear has to be present. There is no courage in the absence of fear. It doesn't take any special effort to do something when there's nothing trying to hold you back. There's no great act of sacrifice. There's no great act of motion. There's no great act of sacrifice. There's no great act of effort if there's nothing resisting you, if there's nothing holding you back, if there's nothing pushing against you. It's when those things are pushing against you. It's when you don't feel like doing it. It's when you are truly scared. It's when you are truly nervous. It's when you have these moments of trepidation. I used to call them moments of, y'all, if you remember, I was a police officer for 13 years and used to do a lot of training. I used to do a lot of things where we'd go out into the woods and we would train and learn how to shoot, learn how to fight, learn how to stalk, learn how to find people, because that's just what I did. I loved catching people. I loved catching bad guys. And so I honed my skills to learn how to be a warrior and how to shoot, how to fight, how to track, how to do things that a lot of normal police officers just don't go out and do. And I would spend my own money and go places and travel places to try to be one of the best at that. It's kind of a theme for me. I don't like being mediocre. I told you one of my greatest fears is being average. And so anything that I've ever done, I've always wanted to try to be the best at what I do. Well, in some of those trainings, all of those trainings, the instructor, one of the instructors that we'd go see, he called these moments of puzzlement. And the moments of puzzlement occur when you have bad things coming at you, either bullets, fists, threats. Those things are coming at you. And when those things are coming at you, we have these moments of puzzlement where, as humans, our brain is wired to fight or flight, right? Our brain is hard, and your brain is still hardwired the same exact way, y'all. This is something I want to tell you. Even though we're evolved, even though we're further along in our development, even though we are technologically more advanced than any prior civilization in history, even though you have more access to information, you have more access to the world, you have more access to things, your brain is still primitively wired in a fight or flight stimulus response. Your brain is still wired in a way that it's going to act to protect you against those external threats. And so when those things would come at us, when those bullets would start to, and I've never been shot at, but in those trainings, we put ourselves in situations where there would be threats that would come at us. And our brain has these little moments where we react. And part of training was learning how to react faster, learning how to, good morning, Kristen, to learn how to decrease those moments of puzzlement. Because every time you are exposed to a threat, your brain then goes into, should I fight it or should I run from it? Every time you're exposed to something that threatens your normal course of action, your brain goes into a response of, should I fight it? Should I face it? Or should I run from it? And I want that just to sit for a second with you. Because in the business that you're in, where you've got to go out and find people who may have a need for real estate, where you're in an industry where it may cause you to go find people you don't know to have conversations with. This industry is going to implore you to go have conversations and create relationships with people that you don't currently have. That's what this industry is about. And some of you, because you have some deep-seated level of emotional hurt, you have some deep-seated level of fear of rejection, you have some deep-seated fear of not being accepted or liked by other people. When we expose you, and I expose you, or I explain to you that you need to go talk to people, that you need to go create relationships with people that you don't know, that the only way to get the things that you don't have now is to do things you've never done before, which is you got to go be the life of the party. And for some of our personality styles, that creates in us huge buckets of fear. Do you agree or disagree with that? Do you guys agree or disagree with that? Successful people demonstrate courage. They find a way to fight through those fears. They find a way to fight through those rejections. They find a way to fight through their personal hangups. They find a way to fight through those things. Right? We all deal with that, y'all. We all have these moments of puzzlement. And my job as a broker, as an owner, as a coach, and a motivator, and getting on these calls with you this morning, my job is to try to lessen that window of your fight or flight response. Because holler if you hear me on this one. You get off this call, we get done, you go eat breakfast or go do what you go do, or the rest of your morning routine that you have around this call. And at some point, hopefully during the beginning of the morning, during the beginning of your day, you sit down with a list of people to call. Now, these are my goals. This is a list of people to call. But let's just say this. Show and tell. So you start with a list of properties that are expired listings, right? All these are off the market properties. There's probably, I don't know, there might be $200 or $300,000 in commission in just this stack of papers right here. Okay, there's probably $200,000 or $300,000 in commissionable dollars payable to Aaron Dwyer in this stack of papers right here. But at some point during our day, some point during our morning, we take the clip off the stack of papers. We see that there's a phone number. I clearly have a phone number written there at the top of this page. And at some point during our morning, I've got to take the action to pick up a phone, dial those 10 numbers, and have a conversation. But for many of us, that creates an emotional response. That creates a fight or flight response. And so in our habitual behavior, and typically what we do, we look at that number as some kind of bugaboo. We look at our phone like it's a snake. We look at like we start to feel this anxiety in our gut. Do y'all recognize this? You start to feel this anxiety in your chest. You start to feel this thing in your gut. That's the hormones from your brain that is releasing a fight or flight response rush to your body. And so in that moment of puzzlement, in that moment where you're trying to decide if I'm going to dial these 10 phone numbers to go make some money, or if I'm going to get on TikTok and scroll through some TikToks for the next 2 hours, or if I'm going to shuffle some papers, or if I'm going to check my Facebook account, Y'all, that is a flight response. Procrastination is a flight response. No more, no less. Procrastination and distraction is a flight response to fear. Raise your hand if that's what you do. Raise your hand if that's what you do. When it comes time to go make the donuts, when it comes time to go call the phone number, to go try to get that listing, to go to try to find that new buyer, to follow up with that client, to do the things that need to be done, you look at that moment and say, I don't like the feeling in the pit of my stomach. I don't like the anxiety that I feel. So I think I'm just going to scroll Facebook. I think I'm going to go wash some clothes, especially when you work from home. This is the downside from working from home, because there's always so many things that we can do at home. We can always wash dishes. We can always clean the counters. We can always fold some socks. We can always put the underwear away. We can always start a load of clothes. All those things are things that we've got to do. We can go make the bed. We can dust off a cabinet. All those things are things that we have to do. But y'all, we use those as distractions in a response to being fearful. Jessica said, I think we all do that. Even if we might call one or two, after we start getting those no's, we lose our motivation. What if you could reframe that? What if you could reframe that? What if you in your mind said, I will not stop till I get a yes. I will not stop till I get a yes. What if you could be so courageous and in the face of that pit in your stomach and after that first no, that you're like, you know what? That's okay. I like a no, because one no means I'm one closer to a yes. When I worked at my first sales job, y'all, when I had my first sales job, and my ex-wife used to tell me, because I knew the percentages. I knew that I had to call a certain number of people to go get a yes. That I had to call a certain number of people to get an appointment. That I had to have a certain number of appointments to make a sale. And that I had to make a certain number of sales to make the income goal that I wanted. So I learned this when I first started sales. So I worked for my income goal backwards to the amount of phone calls that I needed to make. What if you knew your business so well? This, y'all, is where the rubber meets the road in the real estate industry. In the real estate industry, this is where the rubber meets the road. You create for yourself an income goal. You come sit with me and say, Aaron, I want to make $180,000 this year. And then what Aaron's going to do, what I'm going to do is I'm going to deconstruct that $180,000 into the number of phone calls that you need to make every single day, and the number of contacts that you need to make every single day. But guess what? They're not all going to say yes. So Jessica, what if you said, I am not stopping my day today. If I start my day at 6 a.m, if it takes me till 10 o'clock at night, I will not stop my day until I get 3 yeses. I will not stop my day until I get 5 yeses. I will not stop my day until I have 5 appointments set for the rest of the week. What if you built your day around yes? What if you built your day around accomplishment? What if you built your every single day about, I'm not going to stop until I get these appointments? Then it wouldn't matter if you got a no. You just move on to the next one. You know what? If I can read, man, this font is small. If Carrie Metz says no, then what I do, Carrie, it's all right, buddy. I get it. It's not time. Let's move to the next one. David, you and Pam say no. That's fine. Let's move to the next one. That's fine. But here's the thing, Jessica. It's not ability at all. It's not physical ability at all. It is your heart. It is your desire. It is your being courageous in the face of fear. Because being courageous is not the absence of fear. You cannot be courageous unless fear is present. A fireman doesn't run. Nobody looks at a fireman and says, oh my gosh, he ran into the building that wasn't burning. What a hero. Oh my gosh, what courage the fireman showed running into the house that wasn't on fire. Nobody says that. The fireman's only courageous if the house is on fire. The police officer is only a hero if he's facing bullets being shot at him. You're only courageous and heroic if you do things in spite of the fear. You fight the butterflies. You fight the pain, the hurt, the anxiety. You fight that feeling in the pit of your stomach, and you go on anyway. You keep running even though it hurts. You keep going to the gym even though it hurts. You push away from the food that doesn't serve your body well because you know at the end of the day it's going to hurt. At the end of the month, it's going to hurt. At the end of the year, it's going to hurt. When you go get your physical next year, the scale is going to be the other way. It's not going to be this. It's not going to be this direction. It's going to be this direction. Here's what I've learned about 75 hard. Life rewards those who are persistent. Life rewards those who are consistent. We all want big splashes. We all want these big events. We all want to win the lottery. We all want this big event that's going to take us from point A to point B. We all want this big splash, the big bang that's going to get us from right here to right here. But that's not the way the universe works. That's not the way nature is built. That's not the way God said to do it in the Bible. That's not the way life works. To live in that desire, to have and to live in that enlightened state. It is a series of overcoming fear. It is a series of small little things that we do every single day that compound on the other, that one success compounds on the other, that one little thing compounds on the other, and it builds one on the other, on the other, on the other. That's why I say on this call every single morning, it is doing these small things every single day that compound on the next one, that compound on the next one. And if I can string enough good mornings together, then I can make good days. If I can string enough good days together, I can make good weeks. If I can string enough good weeks together, I make good months. You see where I'm going with this? It's in these small little things every single day. It's getting 5 appointments this week that provide for you 1 listing. It's getting 5 appointments next week that provides you 2 listings. It's getting 5 appointments the next week to get you 3 listings. And then before you know it, you've got 5 listings, 6 listings, 10 listings, 20 listings. Before you know it, you're making $300,000, $700,000 a year. Before you know it, you're a millionaire real estate agent. And it may not be immediate. It's not going to be right now. You're not going to get 10 listings this week. But successful people demonstrate courage because the only way for us to demonstrate courage is to walk in fear. The only way to demonstrate courage is to be present with fear. The only way for us to demonstrate courage is to have fear sit right beside us and us look at fear and say, not today, brother. I'm not quitting today. Not today, brother. I'm not stopping today. I get it. You told me no. That's perfectly fine. Guess what? You telling me no doesn't hurt me. That's a loss for you. Because God put us this intersection together for me to call you today, to offer you my services. God intersected us today together for me to help you get to a better spot. If you choose not to do that, y'all, that's on them, not on you. Moments of puzzlement. My job is to shrink the moments of puzzlement because you are hardwired still in a fight or flight response. Our brains are still very primitively wired to have a fight or flight response to fear, to anxiety, to hurt. We fight or we leave. Y'all, I've been dealing with this in transparency. This last 6 months, me and Christy, it's been super hard for us. All the things that are going on from a business standpoint, when you are so connected to your spouse in business, personal, motivation, lack of motivation, good, the bad, the ugly. We are locked. Christy and I are locked together like this. And all these things that have been attacking our business, all these things that have been attacking our company, all this transition that's been happening, y'all, we were so super happy with where we were. We were so super happy with the direction that we were going. We were so super happy with the way that Exit Realty Lake Country was growing. But what we soon found out is us being happy and complacent and excited about where Exit Realty Lake Country wasn't the platform. It wasn't the stage. It wasn't where we were supposed to be. There was bigger, there was better, there was more that we were supposed to be going after. And it took turmoil. It took shaking up. It took the bottle, just the box, just to be shaken. I mean, the rocks in the box were just being shaken. And it really affected Aaron and Christy personally. It really affected how we talked to each other, how we viewed each other. It affected our relationship. I went into a fight or flight response with Christy. My anxiety, my fear, all my preconceived past all the other, y'all, I'm on my third marriage. I'm obviously not very good at being a husband, not very good at being married. So I'm on my third one, right? So all those past experiences, all those past hurts, all those past relationship traumas, all the past things that I have in Aaron Dwyer, I brought those into my relationship with Christy. And I immediately went into a fight or flight response. And y'all, there were some touch and go times. There were some times where things were really, really hard. And there were some times where we had to decide, are we doing this together? Are we doing this separately? But at the end of the day, both me and Christy demonstrated courage. Both she and I looked at this situation and looked at all the things that were coming after us and all the things that were challenging us. And we kept our minds open. And y'all, I plugged in. I dove in. I was in the middle of my 75 hard. I was in the middle of reading. I was in the middle of writing goals down. I was in all my meditation on all the things that I was doing to center myself, to find a spot where I could shut down that primitive mind, get back to who I knew I was, who God created me to be. And I shut the little voice down on my shoulder that was telling me, this is the way it's always been. This is the way it's always going to be. This is what you ought to do to this. And I said, dude, shut up. Just be quiet. This is how I was created. This is who I'm supposed to be. This is what Aaron and Christy are supposed to be doing. And I'm going to tell you, we both, and I'm patting myself on the back, and I'll pat my wife on the back if she was here. I would pat her on the butt, probably not her back. I like her butt better than her back. But I would pat her, and I would say, great job. Good job being courageous. Fantastic job sticking with facing your fear and going in the direction of your dream. Because now what's happened is our eyes have been opened to the next levels, these next things we've got to go do. The fog has cleared away, and we can see the ladder rungs, and we can see the staircase going to the next level. And guess what, y'all? We're bringing you with us. We're all going to this next level, but it took courage. It's going to take courage for you today on this Friday, on the 24th of February of 2023. It's going to take courage for you guys to face your fear, to not get on TikTok, to not get on Facebook, to not get on Instagram, to not go fold underwear, to not go mate socks, to not go do clothes or do dishes. It's going to take courage for you to get your butt out of your house, go to one of our offices. We have 6 offices in Northeast Georgia and 1 in Tennessee that hardly anybody ever goes in. Because we've gotten so comfortable and so complacent and so stuck in our ways that we don't challenge ourselves. We'd rather be comfortable. We don't want to get in the car and get dressed. We don't want to go do that. We don't really feel like going to do that. But I'm telling you, going and doing that could be the difference between doing what you've always done, having what you've always had, and doing something more, having something different, being something more than you've ever been. It could be as simple as you getting dressed, putting on your makeup, getting your butt out the door and going to an office and acting like, being in an environment of, even if it's pretending in the beginning, but you're going through the motions of being at the office, being in business, doing things that you're supposed to be doing. Stop being complacent. Stop falling away from your fear. Stop fleeing from the anxiety. Stop turning away. Y'all, this life,
so cool.
the reason the Bible says you're more than a conqueror is because God had to remind you that he did not create you with a spirit of fear, that he created you to be courageous. He created you to have a sound mind. The reason all the stories in the Old Testament are about David and Goliath and about fighting the Philistines and about fighting all these people and all the battles between God's children and everybody trying to take God's children down. Those were lessons and examples and stories for you. Those were things that you could look at and say, life is going to require courage. You're going to have to fight a giant at some point in your life. You're going to have to face a fear at some point in your life. You're going to have to face discouragement at some point in your life. You're going to have to face the fact that you don't necessarily have everything that you need in the present moment to do everything that you need to go do. You're going to have to face that fact. And even in spite of that, you're going to have to be courageous. And you're going to have to tighten up your ice skates. And you're going to have to buckle up your helmet. And you're going to have to go out there and hit somebody bigger than you are. You're going to have to go to the office, pick up your telephone, and deal with the no's, and deal with the rejections, and deal with people telling you they've already got an agent, and dealing with people telling you that they don't need you right now. You're going to have to pick up that sling that rock around, and go try to hit that giant in the face with a rock. I don't know how many times it took David to hit Goliath in the face. Maybe it did only take him one time, but he picked up 5 stones. Even David knew that there was an outside chance he might miss with one. He knew there was a chance that when he started slinging that sling around and he was going to let that sucker go, that there was a chance he might not hit Goliath in the face. Then he might not knock him down with the first one. That it might take more than one. You are more than a conqueror. You were not created with a spirit of fear. You were created to be courageous. Life's too short to be scared, y'all. Get out there and get some business. Get out there and do the thing that you need to be doing. Get out there and work towards something you've never had before. There are sparks inside of you, y'all, that just need some breath of oxygen. It just needs to be exposed to a little bit of oxygen, to a little bit of conversation, to a little bit of something for those sparks, those individual little sparks to connect, to ignite each other, and to become a flame. It just needs a little bit of oxygen, just a little bit of exposure. It's okay to be scared. Lynn said, some people say do it afraid. I say do it courageous. There's no way that courage and fear don't operate in the same sentence. Courage doesn't exist without fear present. You cannot be courageous in a situation where there is no threat. Can't be. But guess what? It ain't the summit of the mountain that's the most important. It's the climb. It's the challenge. It's trying to find the next rock. It's trying to find the safe path. It's trying to find the right spots to get your hands in, the right spots to get your feet in, the right spots to climb and put one hand in front of on top of the other, one step in front of the other. Y'all, it's nothing for somebody who goes and runs marathons to go run a mile. It's something for someone who can't run a mile to go run a mile. The effort's the same. The steps are the same. The mile is not any different for the person who runs marathons than it is for the person who just is wanting to go run a mile. It's the same distance. But the effort and the courage it takes for someone who doesn't run, who's never run, to go run a mile, the courage that it takes to go from point A to point B is far greater than the courage it takes for the marathon runner to go run a mile. I am asking you today, I am imploring you today. Successful people demonstrate courage. Successful people do things they do things in spite of their fear. They do things in spite of the words that are going to be said. Noah built the ark in spite of what the people said to him, in spite of it not raining. The Bible has so many examples. Life has so many examples of people who demonstrate courage. And I am asking you today to think about what in your life on this Friday, on the 24th day of February, in the next hour, in the next 10 minutes, in the next 2 hours, in the next 30 minutes, what can you do? What must you do? What situation must you go into and demonstrate courage? What conversation do you need to have where you're going to have to demonstrate courage? What are you going to have to do today to demonstrate courage? Stop being complacent. Stop running from challenge. Stop shrinking in the face of adversity. You are more than a conqueror. You got to step up and take your swings. You might get knocked down. You very well may get knocked down. But all life asks of you, all success asks of you, all I ask of you is if you get knocked down, get your butt up. Get right back up and swing again. Get right back up and go again. Because you start building, Michelle Tilson, if you're still on here, we've lost a lot of people. I guess this message didn't resonate. I don't know why people, it's crazy. Everybody needs this one. You'll need to be sharing this with your friends. Okay? This is to share with the other agents in this company, because this message is a message that will save your tail. This message right here will make you fearless. Because I promise you right now, Michelle Tilson is nearly fearless. And it came from something that she would have never, ever done before. It came from something she never would have known before. It came from something that she had to put herself in a position to be uncomfortable day after day after day after day. And now 55 days later, Michelle Tilson wakes up this morning, and I promise you, she looks at the world differently. She looks at challenges differently because she's put herself through the ringer 55 days in a row. Jared Tilson, Michelle Tilson, Kristen Ritchie, Vanessa Self, if you're still doing this, y'all, you putting yourself in the grinder every single day and you doing these things that you don't want to do every single day, you open up your eyes and look at the world differently. I'm not absent of fear. I promise y'all. There are things that I've got to be doing right now, and there are things that I should be doing right now that I am super fearful of, that I have got to demonstrate some courage in, because there are things that I'm supposed to be doing right now that are going to expose me to more. They're going to expose me to more criticism. They're going to expose me to more people, which means I'm going to get exposed to more people's opinions, which means some people are going to think I'm stupid. Some people are going to think I'm an idiot. Some people are going to think I'm not qualified. It already happens to a certain degree, but I've got to step up and be courageous and do the thing that I'm supposed to do. So this message is as much for me as it is for you. You cannot be courageous without the presence of fear. And I want you to remember that. You cannot be courageous without the presence of anxiety. Running into a house that's not on fire doesn't take any courage at all. We do it every single day. Going into a house that's on fire that takes courage. Going into a dark building doesn't take that much courage. Going into a dark building where there's a bad guy in there with a gun, that takes courage. Learning to do the hard things, being courageous in spite of your fear, doing it anyway, builds one little muscle at a time, one little success at a time. And when you start to build little successes over and over and over, when you start to stack little successes over and over and over, when you start to build little things over and over and over, you get to a place where you absolutely know that no matter what, you know, KNOW, you know that NO matter what, no matter the challenge, no matter the struggle, no matter the fight, no matter the fear, no matter the anxiety, that you're going to win. Champions don't quit until they win. They don't quit when they're done. They don't quit when they're tired. They quit when they quit when they win. They quit when they win. So what can you do today to win? What can you do today to win this day? What can you do today to face that fear, face that anxiety, show some courage, demonstrate courage in the face of that fear today? Happy Friday. Looking forward to a great weekend. Y'all, go get some business today. Go out there and find it. Go out there and find some business today. Uncover those rocks. Walk out in the woods. Go kill something today. I love y'all. Be good, be great, be you, and we'll see you Monday. Bye, y'all.